Today we're joined by Erik Zamkoff, Programmatic Media Product Lead at Microsoft. Erik, welcome. It's a pleasure to talk to you today.
Tom, thank you very much for having me today. Glad to be here.
So with over 200 million listeners in the US, digital audio is certainly booming. What are you seeing in terms of trends in digital audio and what's leading this change?
I can talk a little bit to what we're seeing on our side. As you know, in partnership with DAX and a number of other significant audio publishers, we've built a very robust audio library as well as associated content category, sensitive category, and single publisher audio packages. Audio is a format is one that is growing pretty fast on our platform. It was actually one of the fastest growing formats off a small base in the first quarter of the year, and one that grew first quarter over fourth quarter, which is rare for the industry, and I think highlights the robust demand profile for the format. With regards to why it's growing and what the driver is, I think some of it's CTV extension, some of it's price points, proliferation of some really good supply, combined with folks that are doing some really good packaging work to put together easily digestible audio packages that deliver on what buyers are looking for and are transparent in terms of what's included in each package. But Tom, I'm curious. I'm sitting right in the middle of the marketplace, putting together demand and supply and building packages. I'm curious what you're seeing on the supply side.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Over the past, 5 years, we've seen a lot of change in the digital audio landscape. Part of what helped CTV grow so fast and was successful was that level of transparency and identity. So you knew who you were reaching, when, where, why, and how. So we've worked to make the inventory we currently have more attractive to buyers with the data points needed to data target against it. So there's the improving the quality of the existing inventory. And then for DAX, we look at ourselves as an audio everywhere platform. So where can audio go? We have, audio articles. There's in-game audio units. There's audio into CTV, as you just mentioned. What does the future of that look like? Ad-supported audiobooks. The list goes on and on. And so we think not only have we made the existing inventory more attractive, it's about finding different ways for brands and buyers to put their brand in front of a person wherever they are listening to something.
Very cool. Hey, Tom, I've got to ask you one quick follow-up question. You listed a number of really exciting new potential formats for audio. I hate to put you on the spot, but if you had to handicap, what are some of the newer opportunities that you're most excited about out of that mix that you just shared?
So gaming is a very big push for us. We've actually signed an exclusive representation agreement with Microsoft, where we're representing Microsoft's casual games on their desktop. So delivering an audio ad into a casual desktop game. That's something that's exciting. But if you look at over the past 2 years, DAX has really invested in what's next. We acquired an audio articles company, right? We've acquired a podcast CMS. We're bundling all of this technology together into one platform, and it's certainly an exciting time to be in the space.
Well, it's an exciting time to be your partner, and it's been. I look forward to the opportunity to onboard some of these new formats as they become available.
Perfect. Shifting gears a bit, we've talked about the growth in digital audio, but I want to talk about what's driving the growth programmatically, right? What does the programmatic audio ecosystem look like, and how does it connect to other buyers and media that make it attractive?
Well, it's a good question. In terms of the landscape, there's several large SSPs, including yourself, that tend to be the biggest audio players, right? And the other two that come to mind are Triton and AdsWiz. Then within our platform, we also have a number of very attractive direct suppliers. Spotify's on platform, Spreaker's on platform, TargetSpot, and a number of others that are currently being onboarded, including DAX, who I am very happy to share has recently come onto the Microsoft monetized platform, and we're going to be maintaining multiple paths to your supply through Triton and through Monetize. In terms of what it is that makes this supply attractive and growing, I think it's a combination of the features of the supply, as I mentioned earlier, as well as the taxonomy work and the careful packaging that we do on our side. We've built a pretty specialized system with the taxonomy, an 11-cell taxonomy for every deal name. That informs the supply that's going to be included in a package. You guys and others have been great partners in bucketing that supply so that exactly the supply that is listed in every deal is the supply that's delivered in every package. And then we have done a nice job maintaining our taxonomy, growing it, and managing it. So all of our packages are updated and kept up to date in real time. So if tomorrow we added a new DAX podcast package into the mix, it would automatically get picked up by our podcast deal. So when you put it all together, that combination of knowing what you're selling, right? In our case, it is premium audio and streaming audio and radio as well as podcasts, plus really good packaging and working with top supply partners. I think really helps and opens doors on the demand side who are looking for ways to extend. And in our case, given our market positioning, it's often CTV extension, buyers who are buying CTV looking for, another associated format where they can reach that same user and that same audience. Putting it all together, we've built out a pretty robust audio practice. And interestingly, that practice not only includes our Invest DSP, but also third-party bidders who, unlike with other formats, are willing to buy third-party audio through our platform, given the ease of integration as a one-stop shop connection point. So lots to digest there, Tom. I'll turn the question back to you. What are some of the drivers that you're seeing on your side, and how has our sort of demand story emerged and compared to some of the other platforms that you partner with?
Yeah, I think it comes down to, what you mentioned before with packaging, right? And we built out DAX Audio with enhanced targeting capabilities on our end. And so not every platform captures every data response or every ad request every DSP doesn't capture every data point in a bid request. We're sending over 39 data points. You may only listen to 12, right? So what we've done with the enhanced targeting capabilities of DAX Audio is we're actually able to curate the inventory prior to sending it to you. So if we want to break out, this is music content, this is news content, we can do that. We can also get much more granular with the targeting on our end, thanks to the platform that we built. So I think it's the packaging is making it easier for buyers to find the inventory they like at the price point they like. And it's about exposing all of our inventory at the same level, right? So you may want to purchase news, but you'll also see music, sports talk, and other formats right there. So we want to make it as easy as possible for buyers to access our inventory. And that really depends on how it's being presented in the marketplace. With such an expansive ecosystem across programmatic and the new bidders that Monetize is now integrated with, how do you see the growth of audio coming over the next 6 to 12 months?
Good question. We, as mentioned earlier, we're off to a great start this year with audio. It's been an accelerating format for us. And when I look at the sort of the equation, the supply and the demand flywheel that we're building, I see opportunities on both sides of the spectrum. On the supply side, we're consistently continuing to add new supply into the mix, both monetize direct supply, such as yourself, who recently onboarded your supply to monetize, as well as some others, but also working with even our third-party publisher, and SSP partners to break out supply into more granular pieces to give buyers additional choice in the marketplace. On the demand side of the table, we continue to see more bidders engaging with and asking about audio. We have a pipeline of several additional bidders that are in the process of integrating and others that are evaluating. And as mentioned, audio is unique in that, given the ease of integration, it's essentially video without picture. There's value in being a one-stop shop connection point to all supply. And so while there are many audio buying DSPs that have connected to third-party supply directly, we have found that there's a good sweet spot of bidders who want to do so through one central buying point. And the other interesting data point that I can share is we're seeing bidders with such strong demand for audio that they're buying on both paths, right? So when you put that together, like, sometimes it feels like I don't have enough supply to give buyers, to fill all the demand that buyers have on the platform, right? And so when you take that robust demand picture with and combine it with, our pipeline of new supply and better breakouts, et cetera, I think that's a recipe for continued growth.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. About 2 months ago, we actually had a client, instead of activating through a one-to-one deal with us, went through the marketplace to buy us. So it's not only just those third-party bidders, but it's also partners and clients direct who are saying, you're in this marketplace, this is the inventory I want, and we just point them in that direction. So it's great to have both sides of that.
Yep.
Well, when talking about the bidders that are now coming onto or activating against audio, what do you say to those who are hesitant to move to audio? Or what would you say to get them to shift over to start buying?
Well, that's an interesting question and a discussion I'm having in real time as we speak. I tend to highlight the addressable capabilities of the format, especially we are lucky to have some really good addressable supply in our marketplace. The robustness of connectivity that we provide both to indirect and direct suppliers, the growth of the format, the ability to pair campaigns to get, to do omni-channel work across our platform, meaning display native audio and video, and packaging that together with, all on one platform, one system with combined reporting. But in general, it's, talking to folks that like, if they're coming to me as a demand platform, that means they've had enough discussions with buyers who have come to them and said, hey, like, we want to buy audio, and they've made a determination that there's enough demand that they want to consider, opening up the format. And so typically we are like the first step towards doing so, because it's an easy integration. And we encourage the publisher, the demand platforms that connect through us, that we're well aware that ultimately someday they may grow large and ultimately want to connect directly to some of these other partners. And we try and be a good partner in the ecosystem and facilitate those conversations. I'll share an example, a crazy one, since we're since we're on the topic. I've actually had troubleshooting situations where I work in partnership with Triton to talk jointly to a DSP because they are essentially buying the same thing through the Triton path and through our path. And an issue was identified, and we were able to knock it out in both places by all of us working together. That is not your standard partnership equation in any other format. I think that's one of the things that makes this a really interesting melting pot of partners who are all trying to work together and grow audio.
It's funny you say this because I recently had a conversation with one of our buyers, and they're buying us directly through DAX Audio and also through your marketplace. And
Yeah.
their spend is shifted, between 60 and 40% one way, and they enjoy the performance of the marketplace. We've talked to them about pull it in one channel at least, right? And they enjoy the quality of inventory they're getting from the marketplace and how DAX competes against that inventory. So it's exciting to see that all of your hard work has actually paid off, at least for me and DAX.
Excellent. Well, happy to help, and ditto that on the other side. The work that you do to create and build out these packages and maintain them carefully is what helps to maintain the quality of what we're building and selling together.
Yeah, I'd love to unpack a little bit more on some data that's been released. So there's a very high consumer engagement level and time spent with digital audio, but that doesn't align with the advertising spend. And so advertisers, at least digitally, have not allocated the same amount of spend towards the amount of consumption. Why do you think this is the case, and why are they hesitant to step into digital audio?
Well, I think I think that might be a little bit of an unfair statement, right? Yes, there's most certainly more engagement than spend at the moment on audio, but it's also a newer format that's gone through like a whole bunch of changes over time, similar to video, right? Like there are big differences between live radio and addressable audio. There's now a proliferation of podcasts out there, some of which are generating tons and tons of, I guess, I don't want to say eyeballs, I guess earbuds, right? Like tons and tons of ears, right? Listening to all of those podcasts, right? And so there's a lot more choice. There are a lot more buyers that have gotten comfortable with the growth of CTV that are looking to extend budgets, right? And when you combine the different levels of functionality of supply from the more addressable it is, the more expensive it'll be, to the less addressable, lower price. I think you have plenty of targeting capacity, lots of opportunity, proliferation of supply, really interesting price points. And so I think the recipe is there for audio to catch up. And I also think from a cost of integration perspective, as I've said a couple of times with other questions, it's a low cost integration. So I think all of those pieces come together, to drive potential growth going forward for audio, and I think we'll continue to see that for the foreseeable future.
That's a very good point, and I appreciate that feedback. One thing I would like to say is I think we're just going to see continued growth. Even as Google finally deprecates cookies, audio has already existed in this half of the inventory can't be targeted anyway world. We have our targeting tactics down. This isn't something new that's going to change us. So I think audio, there's going to be a bump in the road when cookies are settled, but audio will be quick to rebound from that, and I'm excited for the change.
Well, I think you raised one other interesting point that we should dive into a little bit, which is the elimination of cookies and what does that mean, right? In a cookieless environment, if you're buying the open market, you're not going to have a very good idea of what you're targeting, right? But in a cookieless environment, if you're buying our run of podcast deal or a run of gospel deal or a run of rock or take your pick, right? You have a defined pipe to a defined area of supply, and you know what you're buying. I think the cookies going away plays very much into the construct that we've built here together, which is a marketplace where buyers can easily identify the types of package that they're buying and know and trust that the package that they ultimately choose is going to deliver on the mechanics that they're shooting for.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The content and genre targeting is going to be very big. And the good news is it's already one of the top targeting tactics for audio. So exciting to see that we have that in place. Erik, thank you so much for your time today. Before we go, is there anything you would like to talk about?
No, all set. Thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure to join this forum, and thank you, Tom, for your partnership.
Thanks again, Erik. Have a good one.